Hello, it's me again. This time we're gonna kill King of the Mist real quickly, and then I will showcase my gear a little bit and explain why I choose those stats over something else. So King of the Mist, he's like kind of similar to PoE1. He has his little arena here. Kinda does no damage, to be honest. I don't know if it's just this is for my gear, but when I had like I don't know, maybe 5 or 6,000 mana, it was the same, and I was kinda like, seriously, this is all the fight. This is what I was scared about. Actually, fuck this guy. He's super easy to kill, right? It's just expensive, so a lot of people are like, can I do him? Will I lose the money? I think it's actually always worth doing him, right? Especially if you CI, he's like kinda. I don't know if he can deal any damage to you. This phase here, with around 2 or 3,000 mana regeneration, there was an occasion where I didn't find the exit here, so I ran around the map. I had to double check all the places and niches to find him. I don't know if it was bugged or it didn't deal damage to me, or is it like normally that it's not doing enough damage. But I think I can like just stand inside and tank it. I'm not really sure if it's that the case for everyone. Let's see here. I don't kind of want to risk it because I have a lot of experience, right, and it will fuck me up a lot. I don't know if the red thingy will actually kill me. Let's try it. Yeah, you're taking physical and chaos damage while standing in an affliction. I don't know how much I need to take of this damage for it to be little. It's 21, 22, 25. Well, I don't know. Will start dealing damage to me. I don't know, so like 50 stacks, and it's still... Yeah, I can tell my mana regeneration is a little bit slower, right? So yeah, you can see like 60, 70 stacks. I don't really care actually. So even though you have not as good as gear as I do, you might just be immortal to this fight, right? So, and I actually don't really know what he's like doing. He has like his totems here. He's like saying the power is his, but actually he's just some kind of free loot guy, right? I think the expedition boss and arbiter are more dangerous than him. I don't really know if he has an... Oh, it's a belt. Wow. I don't really think he has anything to offer that's like dangerous to us mana stacking Stormweavers. So fuck that guy, right? He's super free loot, any level. You will probably need some gear, right? You cannot just like do it like I did, but most of the time you're pretty safe to do him, right? So yeah, fuck this guy. Let's do a quick overview of the gear. Of course, Ingenuity Belt 80% is like a must-have. I think it's like 40 diffs, 45 diffs, which is not a lot. It's not expensive in my eyes, right? 45 diffs might sound a lot to some people. I will explain you how you can make some quick buck later in a later video or so. This belt is like super good, right? It will nearly double your breach ring, it will nearly double your dream fragments, it will nearly double any of your gear. Before I had dream fragments and this breach ring, I was using this ring here. Is self-made, is self-crafted, and some, I don't know, what is it? Like a Call of the Brotherhood where the stats don't really matter, right? But this ring was kinda crazy because I was doing the Call of Brotherhood build from day 3 until the end of the first week, right? Because I was like super weak, not a lot of mana, monsters were killing me left and right, and Breach was the only thing that's viable to farm. So I was like, yeah, I need to freeze the monsters. I will do the Call of Brotherhood trick from PoE 1 with the Inquisitor, where critted enemies don't have resistance. We skipped the critting part with this one that's causing like frozen enemies to have no resistance against us, which is super good, right? Yeah, Doom Loop, Crazy Ring, Cold Lightning damage, fucking crazy. Lightning, Cold resistance, fucking crazy. Intelligence, cast speed, mana, absolutely insane. With Ingenuity Belt, this ring, and this one, you had like fixed cold and you fix your cold and lightning resistance, and you just had to like care about a little bit of fire, a little bit of lightning, and you were good to go, right? Um, yeah. So Ingenuity Belt is kind of good, right? I think any percentage is really good. What is this belt here? 77. What the fuck? It's also good, right? I think 60% is also kind of good. You can buy, of course, a low rolled one, like a 20, 25, whatever percent one, right? 40%, okay, pardon me. You just buy a 14%, you throw 2 or 3 divines, the chances are pretty good that you will get a 60% or higher one. You can use this until you get yourself a better one. Doesn't really matter. Ingenuity is always good, right? Dream Fragments is a thing, okay, it's a little bit harder to grind, right? 100 divines probably. Do you chance it or not? No, you don't, right? You don't want to chance it. Currently, a Sapphire ring is around like what 10 to 12 exalts per piece. 100 divines time in exalts is like what 11,000 exalts. Is it a lot? Sounds a lot. Like 11,000 is like 1,000 rings. Okay, you find 5 rings. That's like 995 to go. You find Siphoning and attuned ones with item level 81. Each of those are like 10 exalts maybe. There were at least 12, 13 exalts when I sold them. 10 exalts is fine, so you find a 1, you find a ring, you find a heavy belt to sell, a white one, you find 2 maybe of those. There's another 4 or 5 exalts, you find T15 maps you don't want to use, those are like 3 exalts. And after some time you will just kind of stack your gains and you get some pretty good gains. I will cover it in another video, right? But so far, Dream Fragments, pretty good ring. I want to corrupt my. This is like an upgrade for the future, is to corrupt this one. This ring is kinda on its limits already. I took the strength, so I can like skip out skilling the strength in the tree for the Mahu Xodl shield. Kinda good. I had all resist on a ring before I sold it, sadly, so I don't have it here now. What can I do better here is, for example, I could up the cast speed, I could up the int and the strength, I think. Strength doesn't really matter. Int could go up like for a couple of points. I could... Yeah, lightning damage sucks, right? I think mana goes up 1 tier higher. I'm not sure. I think it should. And anything else doesn't really matter, right? We can get evasion. I think evasion instead of the flat lightning damage is kinda good. But it doesn't really matter, right? We don't care about any other stat. So gloves, those gloves, I thought they were pretty good, but I found out they're kinda trash, right? You can have like 70 energy shield more, you can have an extra socket, you can have 30 instead of the life gain trash on hit. I rolled it with an omen, I rolled gain 64 life per enemy killed. Shit, right? Whatever. For now it's kinda good. In the future I wanna go for an upgrade here, but right now it's not really worth it. I would gain like, with 30 int is like, I don't know, 3 to 400 divines currently out of my budget because I'm saving up for an adorned. Once I get this one and upgrade the energy shield to 218, maybe another socket, it might be like 500 or 600 mana more. I will have to see. Chest, obviously, the more ES, the better. Intelligence, good. Also, I have lightning resistance here, is a little bit expensive. Luxury problem, because I didn't have lightning resistance on my items, right? And then I just choose to go with my chest. My chest before was this one here. Is also set. This one I bought. I have to admit, I bought this one for 150 divines, which is kind of a steal. I had this chest before. After that I upgraded to this one. Those are both self-crafted, right? So this was the one I had before. This was the one I used before. I had this one here. So generally you just I fixed my loot filter to show me expert hexas rope in rare, magic, and normal rarity. If it was normal rarity, I just lined them up like here in the stash tab, and then once in a while I just took the defense essence and then applied the essence to all of them, augmented all of them, and then I was just checking, okay, which one has like T1% energy shield, T1 flat energy shield, everything else that's trash, I just combined it here. Obviously the next step was to reggle some of the items. I didn't reggle all of them, right? Most of them. Reggle was just when I had rolled spirit on them because I was sure I was not gonna use the chest, so I will just sell it to the people who got baited by the spirit. And then I just applied another essence with defense, and then just checked which one has like 400, 500 ES. Can I roll it with a Chaos Orb? Can I slam Exalt? Obviously, you will need like. It took me maybe around 500 tries. It sounds like super crazy, 500 tries, but you will find like 2 or 3 chests per map. Translates to around 125 maps for all the chests, which is kinda endurable in my opinion. So, and obviously you don't need the energy shield chest with 1000 ES. 700, 800 is enough for the start, and anything else on the suffixes is kinda good too, right? Another option is to use those omens here. You line all the fucking chests up, the white ones. You trigger this omen and then just go ham with the elk orbs and those are kind of expensive, so I don't know if it's worth it. Maybe it is. And as I said, you just go ham with the Alc Orbs. You take the ones that have like double, triple energy shield and go on from there. If you need some information on how to proceed there, just let me know. I can guide you through that easily. Yeah, that's about the chest, right? You want a lot of energy shield, you want a lot of intelligence, you want to fix the resistances with the shield if you cannot with the rings and other items. For starters, it doesn't really matter if it's 900 or 800. See the difference here? It has like, what, 220 less and no intelligence. So if I swap those out, it's like 700 mana difference, right? And even with my insane gear, with the percentage mana I have, it doesn't really fall. Right, it doesn't really matter. That's the point of it. So you don't need to aim for all the GG stuff right away. Who is it? This guy, he wants to buy something. Helmet. This one is kinda GG. I bought this one, I have to admit. This one is bought, it's not self-crafted. The way I would craft this one is the same like with the Hexas rope, I would just line them up. But this time around, I think I would slam the attribute. The attribute, what is it called? The essence of infinite, just because I think slamming the attribute, a higher version of the attribute with an exalt is kinda difficult. So I think just slamming the essence of infinite, which is kinda cheap. Chances are really good there, right? So I bought this one. Obviously, resistance fix, intelligence, max mana, ES, and everything could be corrupted. I cannot afford to lose this helmet right now. It's fucking insane. See, it gives me 1,700 mana. Sorry. And you see, this one was my last helmet, kinda trash, and it gives me. Sorry, I didn't see. I am doing some explanation. I'm doing. I lost like I mean, I upgraded my mana for 700, which is kinda great. This helmet was some, I don't know, 50 exalt helmet in the week 1 or so, where people didn't go on the rarity trip. It's good, right, but it's not the yellow of the egg, as people from Austria or Germany would say. So whatever, right? Mahu Hotel, obvious item, really strong. This is my second one. The first one didn't have a lot of armor and energy shield. It had like 300, whatever, 40 or so, super bad. This time I just invested like 50 divine. Is the steal for 50 divine and it's kind of flex, right? Just 666. Soul Core and 647 on the armor energy shield. Fucking insane item. I don't know if it will stay like this, but this item is kinda crazy for all and is mandatory for all mana stackers. Super GG item. What do we have else? Obviously the flask. GG. I think I bought the first or the second one on the server for 600 exalts back then, when exalts were like higher than divines. Fucked me up financially, but made me level more easy. Currently I'm 98 and 40%. It's fucking annoying to level, right? But whatever. This flask will make you... I don't know, I cannot explain in words how tanky you will get, because yeah, I don't know what is this flask, right? You see my mana and then just press it, I'm full again, right? It just translates like to heal you instantly for 11,712 mana, right? Fucking insane item. I just can recommend it to everyone who has the budget. Get it as fast as you can. Stats don't matter, duration doesn't matter. Maybe duration matters because it has some weird effect going on. So if you press it, I don't know for how long this effect is going on. And probably while the effect is going on, you will have the increased mana recovery rate during effect of any mana flask. I'm not sure, have to test it. But in case you're still playing with the right corner here and the lightning cold conversion stuff, you might want to try it. I'm not sure if it's working like this. This might be a very good combination, right? 10% mana recovery rate while having this flask active, and it has like 75 charges. What the fuck, right? Crazy. So next, yeah, wand. Like I already explained, I crafted all wands I used by myself, and I did it the same way I crafted everything else in this game, because it's just like a big gambling thing. You line up the wands here again, and then you just throw the essence of lightning on them. Some of them will get +3, +4, +5. You go on from there. Here I was kinda lucky and also not. I used an omen and it rolled a critical hit chance for spells for instead of mana rec. Now I wish I would still have mana regeneration, critical hit chance for spells. Doesn't really matter. Increases my damage. I had to like change my build a little bit for it. This wand is kinda good, but also not. It's missing a lot of lightning spell damage. There is currently some wands up for mirroring. Most famous from Genubu, how this guy is called, I don't know his name. He has one, but his fee is like 200 plus divines, kinda troll, right? For a trashy wand he has. It has mana rec, so no way you will want to mirror a wand. Like, you don't want to pay a mirror and then 220 divine fee for some item. That's not perfect, right? Obviously, you want to have intelligence, you want to have cast speed, you want to have plus gems, you want to have max mana, and then you want to have spell and lightning damage maxed here. His wand is nearly perfect. It has all the stats on maxed except for the int, which I kind of find weird. Man, there must be someone who has a wand with int, and it's the one you want to mirror, right? I don't know if you can craft it yourself. I mean, it's gambling after all, right? So I don't know. I think crafting a wand like this just depends on how much of a gambling addict you are, right? So if you really like to gamble, you might come across the chance to get this item done. But for right now, there is not a single good wand you want to mirror. There is some other guy with int, but the spell damage and lightning damage is not maxed out, which sucks and hurts, but I think it's still better than having no int at all, because at some point, I don't know, I reached it already. After 250,000 damage, you don't really care anymore about the damage. Then it's about all about like sustaining, not dying, leveling up. with more cast speed through Arcane Surge, more mana rec through Arcane Surge, more damage through Archmage, and more damage through Pure Power, more damage through Arcane Intensity. Everything else doesn't really matter, right? So in the end, for example, the one that's currently offered to Mirror Service by Genobu, without intelligence, it has 33 intelligence. I have 4, 8, 12, 18, 20, 26% intelligence. So that means 33. I get another 8 or so. 8 or 9, that's 45. That's 90 mana. 90 mana with all my enhancers and so on might be even 200 mana, so I get 6 spell damage, and then I get like 8% increased lightning damage per intelligence. I get another, you see, another 18% damage is extra lightning. I get a little bit more cast speed and mana regeneration through Arcane Surge effect of my Ascendancy here. So in the end, I think the second best one might be even better damage wise than this one, right? Obviously, there is another there is a chest from Arbiter that gives you like percent mana and percent stats. I think if you have an 100% adorned and you have a lot of good jewels, not like mines, but corrupted ones with 10 int, and then you throw in the adorned, and then you get like the chest with percent attributes and percent mana, you can even get like to 13, maybe even 14,000 mana. I think that's the next step I would like to go, but first of all I want to fix my gear and then swap to adorned, and then like get all the corrupted jewels, because this is kind of expensive, right? And last but not least, Pandemonium Choker, also kind of self-made. I bought the base with 3 spell skills and percent mana for like 20 divines, super steal, right? I threw Essence of Mana, a greater one. I got mana regeneration, and I kind of turned white. Slammed it with an Exalt, saved it with the mana roll, and from there it was kind of whatever. I get an X again, right? So I slammed Cold Resistance, I slammed Evasion Rating, rolled the Omen because the Evasion Rating was the lowest. I got Accuracy Rating, a pretty low roll, slammed an Omen again and fucking got Accuracy Rating again, which kind of bricked the neck. You want to have a solar amulet with the 12 with the 10 spirit, so you can have clarity with your Archmage. Obviously GG, what I wanted to have was accuracy rating with the second highest spirit roll to get 60 spirit for blink, which didn't work out. Then I kind of thought like, yeah, I want Temporalis. I bought Temporalis, I bought a neck with 60 spirit, used blink, died twice, sold Temporalis again because it's kind of trash, right? It's good if you want to like just TP around and so on, but what's the point in TPing around all day long and then just dying and losing like 20 hours of grinding, right? Fuck that. It's not my stuff. Obviously Temporal is very good for just, I don't know, clearing maps, and obviously for doing the chaos trial, and for the trial of the Sikima is pretty rad, is pretty good TPing around, but for mapping and leveling I cannot recommend Temporalis, as I tried it and it fucking sucks, right? And obviously just clearing breaches is much more money than you ever can make with just farming rares in a fucking trash map, right? So whatever. Topic for some other time, right? And that's kind of it. I had pretty luck. My first diamond controlled metamorphosis is this one here. I socketed it in here, saved 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 points, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 points, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 points, which I extended to all the jewel slots here. And I got Wildstorm here, another jewel slot here, jewel slots basically everywhere. The next step for me is removing those 3 points here, and then like I'm not sure where I wanna go, but it's probably like here 1, 2, 3, and then 4 with the level up to get another jewel slot. That will be about my dream. So yeah, you want a massive ring here, chaos resistance doesn't matter, elemental resistance as low as you can get, and then just get lightning quick, drenched, pure power, eldritch will, all GG. Drenched kinda trash, but it's currently it's just the best damage I can have. Maybe I just remove it and get another 5 int for having a little bit more mana. Doesn't really matter at this point, so it looks kinda dirty, right? Pretty sure there is something better than this, because 5% lightning damage is extra cold. It's fucking useless, right? Let's face it. And another one is the first increased mana intelligence I got. I bought it for 250 exalts when there were like only 30 of Against the Darkness jewels totally on the market. I just stayed up all night and was like waiting for it, and I just bought it right when the guy came up. I offered him, he was selling it for 150. I offered him instantly 250 exalts, and he say, yeah, here you have it. And I knew it's like a steal, right? Even if you paid like 500 exalts, it would be like, I don't know. Yeah, right. I mean, 500 exalts back then was like 30 breach maps fully juiced, so I don't know. Powerhouse of a jewel, intelligence, maximum mana, everything we want. If I remove it, I only lose 800 mana, which is kind of fucking not a lot, right? What the fuck? But still, if you want to min-max, is what you want, right? So grab one of these, preferably with increased max mana and increased lightning damage or so whatever, and then if you cannot afford the socket here, because you don't have a lot of skills, free talent points for this stuff here, so you just take this one here and then put it there, right? You will be fine too. That's about it. And my other jewels are stuff like this: fixing resistance, cast speed, mana rake, spell damage, cast speed, mana rake, elemental damage, spell damage, crit damage bonus, mana rake, elemental damage. I should change this one. Surprise, another elemental spell damage cast speed mana reg one with fixed resistances. Spell damage cast speed mana reg elemental damage with 7 dex. Alright, another one. And what do we have here? Spell damage cast speed mana reg elemental damage once more, and it has slammed recoup life, whatever, blah blah. I'm thinking about removing those points here. Is 30% mana regeneration. Kinda sad to remove this, but I think recoup is kinda trash, right? 8 seconds and you insta kill everything and you reg mana anyway. Does it really matter? I don't know. It's the same story like with the weird belt. The linen cloth, linen belt, whatever it is, with 50% recoup. It all sounds great when you read it, but then you like press alt and you hover here and you read 8 seconds and you're like, hey, wait, 1000 damage. I recoup 50% is 500 over 8 seconds is 60 mana reg per second. Or if I just remove this point here and take this point here, I get 70 mana reg per second, so it's kind of less than I would have, right? So I don't know, all this thing with mana recoup doesn't fit really well, doesn't seem really good at all. I don't know, right? Especially if you're not tanky at all, there is a big misconduct where you are not tanky and you think like, oh, the recoup mana will help me. No, it will not, right? Because you get a lot of, most people, they have energy shield, they will get damage in the energy shield, the mana is still full, so recoup is not working, and then you have like 4000 mana and suddenly boom, you're dead, and you cannot, what the fuck is 70 mana per second, right? It's not making you tanky at all. And it's just stealing stats from your other gear because it has no triple resistance and not 170 mana, right? So that's about it. That's my gear. I hope I could help you.